Hello and welcome to Shad's Voice, where I not come up with a random topic. I wish I could, but then I feel like I'd be talking about the same thing every time. Where I get a random topic from a random topic generator, and we just go from there and see what I have to say about it. And whether it's a long video or not after that, or a long lesson, we'll see. This It's an interesting topic, and maybe it's not anything for everyone, or something that somebody might not believe in, but it's kind of an interesting thing depending on what your beliefs are and where it actually plays in, I don't know, I can't say everyday life because it doesn't seem like everyday life, but it's people have different beliefs and whether it's good or bad, or if it's, well, good or evil, should I say, or where it comes from, or should you believe it, or whatnot. But the topic is fortune tellers, or in general, fortune telling. The most Everybody mostly probably hopefully knows what it is, but just in case, somebody tells you more or less what your future holds, or anyway, and it's a cryptic message most of the time. Sometimes you don't always understand. It's not always straightforward, um, or something like that. And it you might instantly think of something or someone if you're told your future or something, but most of the time, it might be something that you have not encountered yet that you're supposed to encounter because it's telling of your future and you just never know. The future's uncertain and you don't always know what's going to happen. But somehow, this person, most likely it's a person telling you, a fortune teller, is telling you that these things are going to happen somehow in your future. And you probably don't know this person yourself, so you have no idea if this person is lying to you, or should you believe them, or they're just making crap up, uh, just to get your money or whatever, or make you feel bad, or whatever, however you say it. Fortune telling is probably an old practice. I cannot say I've looked into the history of it. Maybe it's something I want to do, but I've never personally went to a fortune teller myself or had my fortune told to me. I don't know if I necessarily care for it. Um, it could be interesting. I don't know, but I've never had any reason to feel like I should go to a fortune teller and hear about my future or something for them to tell me something. But I feel like this could be a broader topic of one of the things I also um, believe that can come from fortune telling, or what you would probably call um, a feeling, but it's not really a feeling. You just know that sense of you know what's going to happen, aka a vision or something like that. Like, or psychic. That's probably more where you're going to pull from this. That psychic feeling that you feel like something's going to happen, it's definitely going to happen that certain way or whatever. Or you might have had an instance where something happened, and or you thought something or you felt something, and or in the case of what I'd like to say, one of the most powerful things are dreams. Dreams, in a way, telling you what's coming. That's what I mean by visions. And that can be one of the most powerful things, and not everybody has that sense. And I'm not saying I completely do, but I've had some crazy experiences, which I can talk about one of those certain dreams that I've had a few years ago that feels like it already came to pass, which is um, what happened that I feel like when it happened, that's exactly what my dream was telling me. Um, so before I get into that, yeah, that whole visions, that whole feeling that something's going to happen, but you're unsure, or if you're unsure what you're feeling is just a stupid feeling that it's not going to happen or whatever. They say the most powerful thing about, uh, I don't know, probably the most powerful thing is do not ignore what something is telling you. And it might necessarily not be your heart or brain, but it's something. Something is telling you, it could be telling you, get out of there, something's going to happen. And it's so strong that you want to ignore it, but you can't ignore it. You can't shake that feeling. And most of the time, maybe you should not ignore it. You should get away. You should get out of that situation because it could be something else. And you never know. And it could end up nothing, and then you're fine. Good. But you never know. And something could end up happening. Um, so one of these, again, before I get to the stream, um, because the stream is a big one, that I feel like some people would think I have a psychic sense, but not always told to me, but I kind of try to say stuff that, and not everybody believes it, that's fine. But one of the crazy experiences from my last job, I'm no longer there. Um, I felt, um, one day, I just had this feeling, and I thought one of my favorite coworkers, um, I felt like it was her last day. She was on her 2 weeks notice. She tried to assure me that it wasn't her last day, but I told her I felt like it was. But I was glad. I told her I was glad it wasn't. I just wanted to say bye in case it was because I didn't know if it was. Well, it turned out, unfortunately, it was her last day, and they let her go, and that was the last time I ever saw her from there. I mean, I saw her now, and she probably hadn't thought about this, but that literally was her last day when I told her that, and nobody said anything. Nobody, I mean, obviously, my probably so far old boss that was there probably like knew something, but nobody knew it. Nobody spread a rumor or anything. This was something I just woke up with, had a feeling that that it was our last day, and I tried to tell her, and well, it happened. Okay, so about this dream, and I've had crazy dreams, by the way. I think crazy enough dreams that would drive most people insane. Most of them probably don't make sense. I don't know. I have very vivid dreams, so it can be crazy, and not all of them can happen in life. Um, Not necessarily, but they might have to do sometimes with things that are happening in my life. But this dream was different. And what I mean by different, and once I probably tell it, you'll probably click in your head exactly what I'm talking about. So I had this dream, and of course, I am a fan of very many of horror games and stuff like that, or games in general. But so the characters of the stream was Death from Darksiders, and SCP-049 from SCP Containment Breach, the Plague Doctor. And then there was a third one, which you probably won't know, but he is one of my own characters, who his name is Demon Spirit uh, Amos, but I call him, oh, for short, he's usually known as DAS or DSA. And he's, well, kind of a death harbinger, kind of like all the rest of the other two that are there. He's phantom like, he's dark, he's kind of evil, stuff like that. So, the dream was in winter, and I remember seeing Death from Darksiders around. He was doing something, I'm not sure what he was doing. SCP-049 was spreading the Black Plague, and I remember in Dream, I felt it in and out of Dream. It was kind of creepy. He touched me, and kind of, if you know how the SCP-049 works, if he touches you, you get infected, you die, usually. But Dessa, Demon Spirit of Mouse, he possessed me. He was inside of me, which he is he's a spirit, as his name says. He possesses, that's kind of what he does. Um, but he kept me from getting infected. He kind of fought off that infection from within me. And so I couldn't get sick or whatever. And yeah, in the stream, this was in the middle of winter and everything. Does this sound familiar? This stream was about 2 to 3 years ago now. Maybe actually, yeah, 3 years ago now. Way, a few months, probably way before COVID hit, and or people knew what it was. I could try to specifically look up this year that this stream happened, because I remember I typed it out on Facebook, and so it has the month and the year printed on it, but I don't feel like looking it up. You can believe me or not believe me. But I had the stream before COVID was a thing, and it, well, to me, okay, so I'll say my first sign of COVID, or when I was seeing COVID, when doctors didn't even know it, was like, was it 3 years ago now? December. And I remember being sick. I've coughed very hard a lot and had coughing fits, and that's probably because I had COVID, but doctors didn't know what it was. That's when my first science exposure to it, and that's where I feel like I had COVID and was probably one of the first people to have COVID. That a long time ago. It was probably in January where people realized this is a different sort of sickness, and they're calling it COVID, and where it came from, and all this kind of crazy stuff. But that dream was so scary close to COVID. And like I said, in reading through that dream, all that stuff that I put on Facebook, so much sounded like COVID. Scary, accurately, down to the point of it being even in winter, dead of winter. Scary accurate, and that touching thing. And, well, technically the Black plague is not the same as COVID, but they're both still viruses that ended up being very deadly to some people and people who are um like frail and not have their immune system up to date or good. It was it's and it's still there, of course, and changing probably all the time, but take it as you will. But that was one that was like one of the times that I felt like maybe there is something to me that I cannot say I'm 100% psychic or know everything, but that felt like that dream was like proof to me that sometimes maybe I'm right. Right along with my coworker who I thought was our last day, that wasn't supposed to be our last day, but ended up being her last day before she even knew it. And it's one of those things I keep in the back of my head, like, if I feel something, I need to listen to it, that kind of thing. Or if like I dream about a certain thing and it seems like kind of crazy scary, but something, it could connect to something else, I need to pay attention. That was kind of one of the things that I told myself I need to do now. So take it with a grain of salt. I mean, like you say, you don't have to believe me, but I do have proof that this happened. If you knew who I was, like these things did happen. These are things that I've felt, I've dreamt, and put out there. Uh, Even tried to other people's attention, but I'm not seeking attention really. It's just I feel like this is crazy even to me. And maybe I do have a psychic nature and I'm not gonna try to fully delve into it. And sometimes you probably shouldn't because some crazy things can happen. I feel like you should not mess with, and stuff with paranormal things can start happening if you end up like opening that door, so to say. And so just leave it as it is, I would say. If something does happen like that or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I know people have divided um, points and whatever on it. Some people think it can be good, some people think it's evil, some people would think it would probably be something to do with satanic stuff and stuff like that, which is not necessarily the case, but it's could be something other force, and you never know. Like, there's technically no explanation to it, but like I said, I've never talked to a fortune teller. I don't know if I ever will. I mean, if I ever run into a fortune teller and somebody tries to tell me something before I even ask them and they know me, I might get freaked out like everybody else. I probably would. And yeah, but I would not technically actively probably seek that. I'm not to the point because I feel like if I need to know something, I might feel it, that sort of thing. But anyway, whatever your opinion is on it, I'm completely fine. I don't judge you. I never will. I don't judge anyway. If you have any crazy experiences, if you want to tell, in the comments or something, go right ahead. Let me know. I'll read and maybe I'll reply. But anyway, thank you for listening. I will see you later in the next one.